Oilers, you got a great offense with Connor McDavid. So I have them sweeping them.
Yeah, I don't think you heard my point. The San Francisco Giants have 3 more in the 2010s than the Rangers have in their entire history. So, yeah.
It's hard to get back and to get back-to-back wins. And I don't see the Lightning doing it here, so I have them losing to the Hurricanes in 6.
We don't talk about the 2010s because the 2010s had the Astros. And if the Astros didn't happen, the Yankees would have won in 2017.
He was close to Frank Reich, and they want Frank Reich back, so that's what they got. It's their discount Frank Reich.
Kaprizov and the rest of this crew, Jordan Greenway, who doesn't get enough props. He definitely is somebody who needs to be mentioned more.
Hi, this is Julie Dobbs. You're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our MLB Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin, and my team won 2 out of 3 against the Yankees, Austin's team.
That did happen. And Devin Williams gave up the most important run to the game in both games. So that's a big part of it. I do think this is 2023 all over again with the Yankees. 2023, the Yankees were very good at the start of the season. And then they went on a bad spell, and then Judge got hurt. And that's kind of what's happening here. Judge does not look 100% at all currently. I think that Judge, his elbow issue is definitely still affecting him. At least from what I've seen over the past couple of days. And I do think that it's going to be difficult for me to see the Yankees succeed, especially if Judge is not 100%. Before the All-Star game in 2023, the Yankees were a playoff team. And then the second half of the season, they were horrible. They peaked with basically almost a 10-game losing streak. I think it was 9 straight. And they just could not get it together after Judge's injury. Where he hurt his toe after falling into the Dodgers bullpen or cart area, wherever that was. I know there was a gate there that he ran into, but I unless Judge comes back to 100%, I find it hard to believe that the Yankees make the playoffs, let alone be competitive in those playoffs.
I think competitive in the playoffs could definitely be a factor if Judge is not healthy. They are the Yankees. I read they have a great offense. I think it was because they forced a lot of walks with the Rangers. As that was something I was reading. I think the biggest thing for me that I've noticed is the trade deadline moves have not worked out in the extreme short term with all their relievers. Devin Williams was a trade at the start of the year. But I know, was it Jake Bird with the Rockies? Has a high ERA. And Daniel Bard has struggled as well.
Not Daniel Bard. Daniel Bard's... You're thinking of David Bednar. Daniel Bard retired recently.
Okay, got it. Yeah,
but
so
Bednar,
David Bednar.
He did have his longest... the most pitches he's ever thrown in a game since 2022, I believe it was, against the Rangers last night to get a save as we're recording this. Bednar still has had a good season. Same thing with Duvall. I mean, the only two that really did struggle immensely were Jake Bird and Devin Williams. Mark Leiter Jr. struggled. Same thing with Ian Hamilton, who got sent down recently. But Tim Hill, Luke Weaver, I liked what I've seen from Duvall, except for the game against the Marlins, which really, he only had one earned run in that game against the Marlins. Bednar, I thought, looked good, except for that Marlin game as well. It's really injuries to starting pitching, because, I mean, we just do not look good right now when it comes to the fact that Clark Schmidt's out for an extended period of time, if not the entire season. Marcus Stroman got cut. Luis Seal's coming back, but in his one start did not look all that great, and that's probably just a little bit of rust that he needs to knock off. But I mean, our rotation is just killed with injuries. Cam Schlittler is it's solid, but in those games, he still has a 4.6 ERA. Outside of the top two, which is Max Fried and Carlos Rodon, it's really hard for me to see us getting quality starting pitching at a consistent rate, which is definitely a big problem. And then with our bats, we cannot hit against good pitching. That's something that we really, really struggle against. But I mean, Giancarlo Stanton's been amazing ever since he's come back. There's been a lot of guys that I feel like are like Jason Dominguez is really good against righties, really bad against lefties. He's been better against lefties recently, but he's still the worst fielder I've ever watched. So that kind of puts a cap on his ceiling. Our infield with Volpe, we traded away Peraza. Volpe's had a ton of errors. We just have a lot of problems, and they're problems that I don't know necessarily if we're going to be able to fix. I did like the Ahmed Rosario pickup. I thought he's been solid, but again, it's going to take a lot for us to make the playoffs, especially if Judge is not 100%.
Yeah, Judge helps a lot with that offense, but I do think it's more on the pitching side and health with that starting rotation. The thing that I think this is a really tight race right now in the AL wildcard, especially in just the Yankees division, the AL East, as you have the Blue Jays currently leading the entire AL with 68 wins. Detroit is 2 games behind them with 66 wins. The Red Sox, so you have the Blue Jays, then you have the Red Sox at 64 wins. Then you have Seattle and then the Yankees. But right behind them is the Guardians and the Rangers. So that it's going to come down to the wire. I think a lot of teams are going to move into the wild card and move out, and it's really going to come down to the later end. So I am intrigued with what the Yankees decide to do with Judge, because yes, they just put him on the 10-day IL, and now he's back with an elbow, but he's still dealing with it, I'm sure. So now what do they do, and how do they combat this?
I mean, yeah, it's a very fair question. And I do feel like it's going to be something that we're going to have to monitor. But I am worried, because I feel like the Yankees are a team that when they're playing well, they're playing very well. And when they're playing bad, they're playing really bad. And we're just in a stretch right now where they cannot turn it around.
Yeah, and so 2023, was that 2 years ago or 3 years ago? No, it'd be
2 years ago.
right?
Yeah, 2.
So was that when Judge won MVP? Or am I thinking?
No,
of
that's when Judge
2020?
again. That's when he almost tore his toe off of his body against the Dodgers.
Got it. Okay. Got it. And they did.
The 2 years
end up-
he won MVP, we made the playoffs and made at least
Yeah.
the ALCS. So 2022 and 2024.
Got it. Okay. Got it. Okay. I remember now. Just I was thinking that was the Harrison Bader year when they they traded for him. But yeah, so let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.